Sex before marriage, is it a thing of the past? If so, would you be in a celibate relationship? Fellas, what do we think?
Don't lie, hey guys, real talk.
No, I don't think it's a thing of the past. And based on my own experience, I would strongly advise no sex before marriage.
Papa.
Because it just brings in complications that you don't want. And those complications in a marriage sense, because you've made that commitment, so you stay through. And when you're not married, sex like opens your eyes to other things, to other chain of thoughts, and to other behaviors and other perspectives and ways of thinking. So I strongly advise, if a girl or a guy, if they haven't had sex, they shouldn't do it, and they should wait until marriage.
So would you personally be in a celibate relationship?
Celibate relationship?
Right now.
Yeah, I'm in a celibate relationship. What's up?
Reaction, no. Are you sure? Dodgy. We like that. You spice.
Fellas, Jesse, what do you think?
Me? Oh, okay. What? The question was?
Sex before marriage.
Okay, look at it.
Look
On
at
top of the
it.
second part, right? I do believe in celibate. I'm in a celibate relationship with myself. Okay? So, I don't like this.
Man, I feel like that's the thing that some people do. It's up to them. Me, I'd be lying if I said that I'd be able to do something like that.
I think it's existed in the past before.
Yeah.
Like, just the thing is, back in the days, we lived in a society where things were very conservative, you know.
Yeah.
You just follow you don't really step out of place. Now with more liberal ideas and more liberal views, things are not frowned upon as much. So it's not even like something as homosexuality, you know. In the past, if you were a homosexual, you kept it to yourself. Like this thing of having sex in the past, you kept it to yourself. But now, because everything is dope, you're not getting judged for it. People are just more open about it. So I don't think it's a thing of the past. I think it's just been a thing that's just more vocalized more. It's something that's frowned upon as much.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm in because I'm hearing homosexuality.
Like in general, I'm a liberal person, so I don't I wouldn't judge you for that. I don't think it should be frowned upon. I'm like, do what you want to do with your body.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well,
But have you answered the question?
that was more of a general answer. You specifically.
You specifically.
Yes, exactly. Right. Would you be in a celibate relationship?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Like it's like look at I don't know. Like look at man, like sex in itself, like
Why are you Wait.
it doesn't define a relationship. It's one aspect of it, right? Okay, so you don't need it. You know, the main concept is your connection with someone else, and if that's sex, be there or not, it's not really needed.
Yeah.
I think that there's also too much emphasis in sex in a relationship. People automatically assume if you're dating, you need penetration, which is not the case. Like you can just have a music connection with someone and just vibe.
Yeah.
But with regards to that question, I don't think it is anything of the past at all. You know, maybe we kept it to ourselves because, especially if you grew up in a very religious background, you would think like, "Yo, you said, bro, you're going to hell." Because as a Catholic, you're automatically conditioned to think that as soon as you break your virginity before marriage, you're going to hell. You're going to burn.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why a lot of people kept it to themselves. Whereas nowadays, we're more outspoken. We're more like, okay, but you know, I'm like doing intercourse now. I need to know the moves. I need to know what's up. And the thing that comes with that as well is a lot of people would say, okay, no sex before marriage, correct? But then a lot of people would also say, but then I don't want to marry a girl that's not experienced. I don't want to marry a guy that's not experienced. You get me? So,
But what do you define as experience? Because let's say you're both
That's
virgins.
good at sex.
That would be
I don't know.
Somebody-
that's a nonsense. But what she's saying is like what he said. It's just an aspect of the relationship, and the world we live in today. Society has made us believe that it's an important part. It's something needed, you know. So we can't help but think we need it, whether we do or don't. It's the world we live in today.
I just want to touch on one word Merv said, like, what is experience defined by? Yeah, okay, because it's a physical act, people are defining experience by how many of the body counts that you've had, or the years that you've done. So, like, some people these days, they're like, okay, yeah, as they said, you don't want to date somebody who has no experience, who's never been in a relationship. It's very difficult. But what do you define by experience? What if every single person you've been with is bad?
No,
so all you have is a bad idea of sex. So
can I just add to what you're saying? If you have no experience, then you don't know what's bad.
bad.
So the first person is the person that you can't. There is no bar that you're judging it on.
Exactly.
So on that. Can I, according to the topic question saying, is it a thing of the past? I think it's definitely has to do with your inner convictions. If I follow Christ and I know what Christ is and I want a personal relationship with him, and he says that, stay pure, righteousness and pureness allows this, don't rid yourself of bodily impurities.
Yes.
In that, if I'm true to that to me, sex is something sacred. It's a sin of the body. How come it's the only thing in the Bible that says it's a sin of the body? Why is every other sin not say it's a sin of the body? Because there's things that we don't control. When I'm mixing your fluids with me, I can't control you.
And
So why do I feel so attached to you? Why can I not get over the hurt that could be petty?
It's
I think that
as well.
as much as we judge it on the basis of experience, it has nothing to do with experience. It's so much deeper than that. And if your inner conviction is telling you it's something that you don't want to engage in, don't engage in it.
No.
We were in such a spiritual epoch, and now we're moving to more of a self epoch where people just really consider themselves more than anything else. And if you want to go into sex, do it for you, but don't follow everybody who's doing it.
I just want to say that I don't think experience has to do, if you've been with everyone who's bad now, that's all you know. I don't think so, because your body knows what's good. If it's bad, you will know that this is some here and he ain't touching the right spot. You will know. So I don't think it has to do with the number of people everyone is bad. Your body will know if the people are bad. And then I just want to throw a spanner in the works. When we speak about sex, are we talking about just penetration? Because there's a lot of things that are associated with sex that we need to discuss. And a lot of people have this idea that, it's fine, he's not penetrating me, it's just the tip, the hymen is still there, that we need to decide what it actually is.
But can we go to the original definition of sex? Sex is penetration, full on penetration. So we shouldn't get blurred lines.
So now are you saying it's okay?
No,
everything out.
No, I'm just saying
As long
that
as he doesn't penetrate you.
we must define it now. Sex means penetration.
Well, what does it mean to everybody?
That's the thing.
Because there's no. I think the idea for sex from one person to the next always has a slight differentiation.
For some people, the general idea that
hold on. But the idea of something being general is never constant. Think about it. Like we could all say sex is intercourse right now, but then someone could be like, no, it also involves something else, or it involves something else, or it involves something else. So what is the answer to that particular question? Like what is each and every single person?
What is sex? You can read that
Can I just say something?
That's Oxford. It's different in a different dictionary.
Her point of view makes sense in terms of a lot of people will go, I give head. It's oral sex.
Doesn't make it pure.
That means the penetration is through the oral, like through your mouth, right? If someone is going to someone, it's another kind of penetration. So any form of penetration.
Yeah, man. I don't think oral sex counts. I don't know.
Damn.
If it's penetration, it's sex. But for this context, when we say, is it an old-fashioned thing, or is sex still sacred to marriage or whatever? They mean the penetration, like skin to skin. Like now we're gonna say oral sex, but oral sex doesn't bring babies.
Actually, intercourse for me, when I think intercourse, I generally think penetration through the sexual organs. Should I get biological like that? Should I get biological like that? Because that's what I think penetration is, guys. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think penetration is.
No, like, honestly,
Like,
I don't think it's a thing of the past. I think it's a current thing. And I think that, I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah.
I feel like people are having sex.
So what?
Full stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, don't make it a thing. Like the fact that you're making the issue is a problem in itself, because you attach so much negative stigma towards it. Like because I had sex before marriage, not pure.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mean that if you were raped, doesn't mean that you're not poor, not pure. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. And also,
some people, you can see some people like I'm not gonna mention names. Unless I mention names, don't mention names. I won't mention names because I don't snitch. But some people are very, very, how do you say, closed-minded, and that they believe that, look, yeah, because I'm a certain way, I can control myself, I can do this, I can do that.
Like Christianity and all of that, saying that it's against the Bible, it's against God's rules and all of that. I have like friends and stuff who made promises to like keep their virginities and all of that stuff. Then they'll get in a relationship and then
Soulmate.
it's gone now. Yeah, now it's your soulmate, you're gonna marry this person, whatever.
And then there's also thing called divorce as well. You know, you can't control everything.
The D word.
Should something go wrong, because a lot of people like saying, but then what if something happens in marriage and you kept yourself pure and you are, now imagine he cheats on you. And I'm like, but that's not, I didn't keep it for marriage, I kept it for myself and my devotion to Christ.
Hold on, I think when you're bringing in...
something that can be, I don't know, I don't think it's just easy to have a relationship and not have sex. I don't know.
No, when I think about that, when I think about this whole topic, it's simple, right?
A celibate relationship, for me personally, I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's like, are you guys sure that you guys are in a relationship because you guys are celibate? I feel like it's not real.
Yes.
I think
it depends on you personally.
But in general, like what I would like to think about the whole topic is, my main belief is relationships aren't given, they're built. And every single relationship is built on different fundamentals relative to people. So it's on the general perspective, is sex, should there be sex before marriage? In my opinion, no. From a religious, political, social perspective, no. For me, should it be there as well? No. But we need to understand that every relationship is different.
Everyone is different. Also need to understand that temptation is real, guys. You are human. My goodness. And when you're dating someone, if your girl is looking fine and she's at the club and she's wearing a night as just, oh, you're not gonna feel tempted.
But there's a responsibility behind the temptation.
Goes back to self-control.
So you need to be disciplined to know what exactly it is that you want.
We can all have these checklists to what we want and what we're looking for in a relationship. But sometimes the reality of things and where life takes us isn't exactly what we look for. So it's something that boils down to how a relationship is built.
You need to be honest with yourself. You can't sit there and say, oh no, I'm not going to do it. You know yourself that you're weak. To say, I think it all starts with being honest with yourself. This topic is a very touchy topic for a lot of people. And like Raisa said, she knows what time it is. If she's going to date someone, she lets you know upfront that for me, this and this needs to be on the table. If it's not there, I'm out. So I think it's important to discuss with your partner, because if you're going into a relationship with a guy who's been having sex, and you coming here with your Jesus, married, you
don't have guys. Girls think that they can change guys. You can't change guys.
And I don't advocate girls that go and like, no, I want to keep it. And then when the guy is there, they're like, no, I'm doing it for Jesus. No, you're not doing it for Jesus. You're doing it for yourself. But Randy said, I don't think you should say Jesus. Jesus can't make you do anything. If I'm saying, was that Jesus? That's because some people say no. Jesus says, but your conviction is Jesus.
Girl.
You want to speak because to the world, Jesus makes sense to justify. No, don't say Jesus. Say me. Listen, the way I see my life, opening my lips to you is not an option. So either we're gonna get to know each other. Are you ready for celibacy? Because right now I think it's very hard to find a guy that hasn't that. I know guys who have chosen celibacy because they've been backsliding and they know what they lost in backsliding. So saying that you mustn't try change a guy, I'm saying never change a guy, but be upfront with him. Be like, you're cute and
from the start.
I'm cute too, but you know, I'm just not. In the day that we live in, you're assumed to have given it up. So when a guy comes up to you, they already think, okay, you DTF. Like, if we get into a relationship, that's what's gonna end up being. So by like date 3 or 4, you need to kind of make it clear, like, you know what, I serve this purpose and this is what I'm about. But you need to be upfront about it.
Yeah, I think that succumbing to sexual attraction or whatever doesn't mean you lack self-control. I think it means that you've chosen to.
But
And
sometimes
no,
you do lack self-control.
You don't.
You if you decided that you're not gonna do it and then you do it
because the guy
then you lack self-control. Yeah, if you
decided
decided.
that you're not gonna.
Yeah, I was talking in that case.
But like people do make decisions when you start off. Either it's you do or you don't. So either way, if you change what you said in the beginning, you do lack self-control.
There needs to be a connection between self-control and choice. You can't disconnect self-control and choice. I feel like they're together. If you have self-control, you're making a choice of having self-control. You cannot disconnect.
I'm saying that you don't always need to lack self-control.
But
You
you
can
just
be of
change your
very
mind.
sound mind.
Yes,
You know what? Maybe not in 2 weeks, maybe not in 3 weeks, but in 6 months.
Yeah.
You go
But if you, I mean, 6 months will be the time. I think that's self-control. I mean, I planned it.
No, but then it's a decision, guys. I think
It's always a
about
decision. I think it's always a decision. Even when you think you're not deciding, you're deciding.
Guys, no, I believe that self-control, I think it's a fruit of the spirit even.
Yes, amen.
And so I think lacking self-control is actually a thing. Like there are people who actually lack self-control. It's something you need to pray on and you need to work on. So I think we can't just say that no, it's a decision. There
You need
is
to ask the Holy
some
Spirit
people
to guide you.
Hold on.
and some people have more self-control than others.
Hold on. If I understand properly what you're saying lacking self-control is something that someone it's beyond him. He doesn't make the decision not to follow through with the decision that he had made himself.
I'm not saying that it's
That's what I
beyond you
understand.
because I think that everything, at the end of the day, there are decisions and that
You have to pick the right one.
you have to pick the right
But you
decision.
can't always.
Yes, but it's
You
life is
like
our
saying-
choices.
You can't always make the right
Choices.
choice. No one can. You think you can, you're lying to
No,
yourself.
We have another
I'm asking if she thinks that you get people who are too horny, so you can't stop yourself from.
I don't think
That's the thing.
I don't think self-control.
It's called like what? No.
No, I think self-control is a bigger picture, guys. It's a bigger picture. Like self-control, for example, even in anger.
Even
You lack
eating.
self-control with anger. That's why you're beating women. or
Controlling
whatever.
what you eat.
You know what I'm saying?
Self-control.
It's not necessarily
It's
just
actually
oh you
a
horny or oh you.
I
In
know.
different aspects, you can lack self-control.
Once you say
And it's something you need to work on. Guys, self-control is a real thing.
Hold on,
You gotta-
Hold on. But listen,
Yeah.
we all put it. We are all faced with decision. Like for instance, you see a lot of you see cash there that you could steal that cash, but you decide not to steal cash. But in comparison, when it comes to being with a woman and sleeping with her, it's a decision that you decide to make easier than you stealing cash. So where do you
Then
decide
that's your weakness.
where self-control
Yeah,
is?
then
Because
that's your weakness.
you're speaking about self-control in a general sense.
In general.
Yes,
Now-
that's what I'm saying.
and
Then
then
that's
you-
your
and then-
weakness. You
and
lack
then-
self-control when it comes to
and then
sexual
you
things.
question- and then-
Someone else lacks self-control when it comes to money. Someone else lacks self-control when it comes to anger. Someone else lacks self-control when it comes to food.
So guys, self-control is a real thing, and self-control will affect whether you fall into temptation or not. So guys, self-control, you better watch yourself.
Self-control not being a choice. It's a complete choice, man. It's like what she's talking about. I mean, as soon as you open the door and you're saying, come into my house late at night, you're making a decision. You know, like this shit makes no sense. You can't separate the two. I feel like they're the same.
Sorry, can I just ask, at what point do you decide? I just want to know, where's the choice? And at what point you say, oh no, there's no carbon, I'm losing control. I just want to know, because if you know, okay, I lack self-control in sex, I lack control in money. At what point do you know or do you not know that I am falling into my lacking of self-control? If it's so technical, then there should be a formula.
No, let me give you a scenario. You know that you're weak when it comes to sexual things.
How do I know?
So what you're gonna do is,
I want to
you're gonna avoid those situations.
How do I know I'm weak? Because I'm weak in general. Because temptation is temptation.
If you're weak in general, mama.
No wait. If this person is fine and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want him, and I see money, I'm like, yo, I like weed, bruv. I want to steal this cash. It's the same temptation. So I want to know at what point.
I disagree.
When temptation is sexual,
I think the example is unrealistic.
wanting something. It's alluring. It's you want it so much. It's so tempting, you know, because temptation is always used in a negative connotation. It's tempting me to do something I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
So how do I explain that and differentiate between the sexual temptation and the monetary temptation? If you can explain that to me, then I can understand, okay, I can lose also temptation.
I think the example that you're giving is unrealistic. You know yourself that you wouldn't steal money.
Yo, this. Nah, man.
Oh, guys, come on. If you don't know yourself,
It's
then
an
I can't.
example.
I do know myself, that's why I know I was stealing.
Okay, you know you would steal money, for example, but you also know that you wouldn't have sex. How do you know your weaknesses?
Guys, self-control. I feel like this panel really belittled self-control, and you guys need to understand that self-control is a real thing. It's a whole thing. It's the ability to inhibit control within yourself, and every decision that you make is based on your level of self-control. People are saying that you don't know whether you can control this or not. You don't know your weaknesses. How do you not know your weaknesses? Get out of here, man.
If you don't know you have a problem with yourself, you don't know yourself.
Come on. I fall to temptation because I don't know it's alluring. Yes, I know I won't steal money, but it's alluring to
Guys,
me.
you know yourself.
You know.
You know your weaknesses. You know your weaknesses. If you don't know your weaknesses, you've got a problem. That's not showing yourself.
That's not true. If you fall to your weaknesses and you know that you have
Let me tell you something.
No.
Let me tell you
Basics.
First of all, what is self-control? Because I didn't even get a clear definition of what self-control is, guys. I had no idea what self-control is. How? So let's just say, like, I like to drink wine, right? And because I now go to the shops and I didn't plan to buy wine because it wasn't a part of my grocery list, and I see a bottle of wine and I decide to buy a bottle of wine, is that me losing self-control? Do I lack self-control?
I think that a lot of people that say, no, I don't have self-control of this, I think those are just weak-minded people that look for an excuse.
Whoa!
No, I think that, listen, if I come to you and I say, let's have sex, you know, you're not going to blame it on self-control. You know, say yes or no. Simple. Or if you're
But that's-
to be
But it's
you tell me first define what is self-control.
Maybe you just don't want.
I think
Self-control.
Self-control quoi?
But it's self, yourself.
No, you don't like self-control. What is self-control?
It's self-control. I just don't want the chocolate. No,
Yes, it's
maybe I'm just not in the mood for chocolate. Self-control quoi? Maybe I
Yes,
just
you're
don't want
controlling
it.
yourself. Controlling.
I'm controlling that I don't want chocolate. What is it? What is controlling yourself?
I think my narrative is this, right? I think my narrative is this. I won't lie, like I'm really struggling. In your defense, though, don't kill me, everyone. But I think my narrative is this. What you're referring to when you say someone doesn't have a particular self-control with something, it's a narrative between a guilty conscience and what is right. And the problem was the struggle between that would be the enjoyment behind that guilty thing. So sex is great if she got her ABCs and he lays the D and it's really good. You
Just king too much.
We went out to Bron. Man, I forgot the place's name. Me,
Great Dane.
Great Dane. Me, Francis, Jesse, my brother. Squad. It was squad. Oh no, the songs jamming. Bah, bah, bah. Everyone just, hey, Jesse comes in.
Hey! It was too much, guys.
First of all, you're Jason Derulo. You're so big.
oh my God. Like, I know that I'm going to church tomorrow and Jesus is going to see my pussy and be like, yo, Jesus. He's going to explain, but yet again, she knows it's wrong, but it feels right. So she likes so it's the same thing, you know? You're right in your defense of saying that there's to certain people, like there is a lack of self-control, and I'm hoping I'm answering what you mentioned earlier. There is a narrative with whether it be sex, whether it be anger, whether it be money, whatever, where there's a fine line between having a positive narrative, knowing what it is, but being tempted through the negative or the guiltiness of things because of that enjoyment. You know what I mean? That's why women always say shit about men when they marry, because we struggle with that. I'm not those dudes that shags everything. They do that. And then girls follow in the same trap. We're like, girl, I don't know, I shouldn't have done that last night. It was wrong. But tell me it was so good. Niggas don't even be like, yo, what's good? These balls, we shit. You seen that ass? I'm saying in general, like most guys won't admit it like that. Yeah. Most guys will never admit it like that. But yet again, if a man has a sister or a mom or a cousin, like he's gonna put himself, like he's gonna think to himself, what if that was a close woman of mine? You know what I mean? Yeah. They may not talk about it, but it's there.
Yeah.
Wow, it's true.
It's there. I think people are just super scared of being judged. Because if I told my friend who's so major about self-control, I'm going to her I had sex, she'll be like, "Stand with your self-control."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly
It's just an example, you know. What your cookie might not crumble the way I like my cookie to crumble.
Whoa! Damn! Whoa!
I wish that our parents as well, especially African parents, I wish that they could sit us down more and have these open conversations with us, because it's so important, you know. Because if you're black and you're religious and you speak about sex, it has a negative stigma, because you automatically taught from a young age that if you lose your virginity, it's a sin and you're going to hell, you know. And I think that that's not a very good way to bring up your sons or your daughters. Speak to them about these things. Tell them why it's not good, you know. Don't just be like, you're going to hell because it's a sin. Nah, we need to communicate more, guys. Communication is so essential.
The thing is now, like I'm like Jesse, I'm in a celibate relationship with myself, you know, because I think that there's more to sex. There's so much more to sex. This is my okay. Yeah, I'm celibate with myself. I don't just want to temptation. Because there's so many fine guys up in the DMs and WhatsApp. But you just have to be like, I see.
But then at the same time, it's not just for looking at. Let me tell you something, right?
That's not what we're saying.
On Facebook once, because my life is crazy like that, right? On Facebook. Right?
Alright.
I read an article about a Christian woman, right, who was celibate her whole life. She didn't have sex, she didn't do blowjobs, nothing, no full play, nothing. She didn't do this.
I think I read
no, listen, eventually she got married. She got married, right?
Yes, I think I read
She got married at the age of like, what, 25 something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. She got married, then she finally had sex with her husband. And she hated it.
Yes.
Why did she hate it? Tell them, buddy.
Because she's been condemned all her life to not have sex before marriage, and it's such a foreign thing to her. So all of a sudden, trying to be intimate with her husband, in that sense, was like it felt like a bad
yes,
thing.
because the negative stigma around
sex.
Can I ask the question? For how long has she been married? I don't give her a life story.
No, she didn't tell us how long she had been married for, but because of her first encounter, obviously some people
didn't enjoy it. Put too much emphasis on sex as itself. Don't build it up too much as something that once you get there you're disappointed because it's not everything that you made it out to be. And at the same time, don't leave it as something that's not really an aspect in life. Don't belittle to the point where you just do it all the time. Like, because there are, problems that come with having sex with multiple people all the time.
You cannot say that she didn't enjoy it. She had been conditioned. Hold on. Let me finish. You cannot say that her experience was bad or she just didn't have. Her whole life she had been conditioned to tell her that sex is bad. Don't go to sex. So you've been conditioned your whole life to know that sex is wrong. When you finally get the opportunity in the right place at the right time to have sex, you are still internalizing yourself that this is bad, this is wrong. So it's going to take her some time to unlearn what she had learned about what she had done. So you cannot say that no, her experience was bad. No, maybe that was the best sex or the best feeling ever. She just knows it's sad.
Guys.
You can't.
Fear don't speak. No,
No,
it's
no,
not.
no,
It's
no,
not.
no,
It's
no,
not.
Okay, but guys, you know,
Those quality chats.
I think
That's good.
I heard of that story as well, but like personally, I think that's one out of like 4 billion.
No, but you
Hold on, let me
can't.
finish. That's one out of like 4 billion. And at the same time, I think that you can't use that, as an example.
Justification.
No, it's an example. Look at the message. Look
Because
at you.
I'll
Look
tell you-
at
Hold on. I'll tell you.
Yo, the personalities here.
They made you reverse.
There are a lot of women out there who feel the same way she did, but because their story was not public, it didn't influence anyone. And truth be told, no one, truth be told, me, personally, I don't really care because I'll tell you what. Personally, I don't really care because
It doesn't affect you.
it doesn't affect me. I want what I want. If I find a woman who can give it to me or can't give it to me, cool, I'll move on. But I'm not going to. No, I'm not talking about sex specifically.
Okay,
I'm talking about
Good clarification.
I was just touched that people may say it's just her own experience, but there are people out there who may be very frightened once they get into a relationship because they've just been so conditioned that sex is bad, sex is not right. And I feel like people just need to understand that everybody's experience is different, and you cannot say that it's nonsense and she has no point in saying what she's saying.
Just to add to that, she's saying she was told that sex before marriage was bad, and all of that stuff, and she got into marriage. And then she had the experience and it was bad. A lot of things they tell you when you start in the marriage, the first year, it's hard. Waking up with someone, it's a pain. Having someone's noises in your bathroom is a pain. But marriage is a process of going all through that. The first time you have sex, even when you're not married, bro, some girls they're like, oh my God, that was the worst thing. By the time they get to the fifth, it was like, God damn, it was great. So you see the thing, but is it in the right context? Was it great based on you? Was it as great as it could have been if you were in and if you grew together in that commitment? Because that's the perspective that we come in as believers and as Christians. Because even if you start off, both of you are virgin, and you teach each other how to you learn each other's ways and how you grow together. And that intimacy, because the concept of how we see sex even is that it's an intimacy not just physical but spiritual that represent the Holy Trinity.
I think I'm
So where basic, and even the concept whereby Jones and I are thinking the same, but Jones tell you something else, but whatever Jones is telling you, I'm not in disagreement. Whatever I tell you adds to what Jones is telling. That's the kind of intimacy that was meant through sex. So you see what I'm saying? The first time, it's not an intimacy that comes overnight. It's an intimacy that's built over years and years and years and years. And that's why I think that post that she posted, she must yada.
Listen again.
Airing her issues with the marriage the first time she had a man. Come on, man. You can't. You don't have sex the first time and it's great. Sometimes for some people it is, for other people it isn't. But just to base it on just that, nah, man. I think it's juvenile, and I think it's sending the wrong message to people. Probably trying to say that, oh no, sex is this bad thing. It's not really this bad thing. It's a sacred thing that takes time. That's what I think, and based on what I believe, it's that. But yeah, man, I think some people just need to keep their marriages to themselves. Once you marry, you talk about that with your husband. Not come out here and start telling us what your problem is and stuff. Shut the hell up.
I don't even like you said a lot of things that which I agree with and I don't disagree with. But at the same time, with the story, right? The thing about it is there's not one objective meaning to the story, to her story. Everyone takes what they want from that story.
Yeah.
And what I took from that is that the idea of sex being the most negative, impure thing you can do on this planet is a fallacy. You need to get rid of that in your mind. I'm not saying go have sex with everyone, but just rid yourself of that belief.
Yeah.
Okay, don't hold too much to it. Don't think about it too much. But that's what.
Okay, sorry, I know we're cutting it, but that's what I said is that.
No, I agree with you.
Remember what I said about the woman is that some girls, even out of marriage, they have the first time it's bad, but then after 5 years it's great.
Exactly, yeah.
But is it as great as it could have been?
Yeah, but also this idea people saying, oh, sex is so good all the time, it should be the perfect experience. Look, not everything is perfect. You work into it eventually as well.
Things are built, they're not given.
Some girls will be like, oh, just not having sex. And I'm like, oh, cool, whatever. I honestly don't care. It's not like an edit for the sex. I don't really care about it that much, to be honest. Like I said, in your relationship, like you don't date someone because of sex. You date someone because of who they are as a person. Because at the end of the day, you can have sex with anyone, you know. But you can't have a relationship with everyone, a meaningful one at that.
Is it a thing of the past because we live in such a society where biblical principles are being drawn away from? Then yes, it is a thing of the past. But definitely, I still think that people are abiding to it and people are staying celibate for the greater purpose of marriage.
There's blurred lines. I don't know if I believe in it because of the fear or if it's actually my inner conviction. I'm not sure, but I believe fully in celibacy. And I think that once you start having sex, you're mixing all kinds of emotions and spiritual ties, and it really becomes messy in the relationship. So I think celibacy for me, myself, is important. I don't judge those who decide, that they want to have sex, but for me, I think it's important for me to keep it locked, keep it tight. The cookie jar is tight until the ring unlocks it. Yeah.
That's how your cookie crumbles. That's how your cookie crumbles. Like no one can stop you, you know. But I do think it's important. You know, it's really important. But I feel like there's like pros and cons, because if you do decide to be celibate in a relationship, you'll get judged. If you don't decide, you'll get judged. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know what? For me, at the end of the day, I personally believe you need to do what's suitable for you.